Hey everybody, it's the Doll Boy, and today I'm gonna show you how I make my wigs. I've been really enjoying wig making lately, and I've gotten a bunch of questions on Instagram about the process. I did make a doll wig tutorial already 3 years ago, but since then I've learned so much, so I wanted to give you an updated version today. To make your own doll wig, you're gonna need a bald doll and a wig cap. For this, I use the 16 to 17 centimeter wig cap from AliExpress. I prefer the fabric ones that have an elastic band all around the head because they're really snug and fit rainbow high doll heads perfectly. And you're also gonna need some hair to attach to the wig cap. For this, I prefer wefted hair because for me it's the easiest to turn into a wig. The synthetic wefts are also bought from AliExpress as they're pretty inexpensive and come in a lot of different fantasy and natural shades. Today's model is the gorgeous Zoe Electra that I already chopped all her hair off. The colors I want to do for her today are a mix of her original bluish colors, mixed in with some pinks and purples to accentuate her lip color. To avoid damaging your good doll, I like to use one particular wig making doll. To protect this doll, I wrap her head with 2 sandwich bags and then put the wig cap over those bags. I position the wig cap as well as I can, making sure that it's sitting straight on the doll's head. During the wig making process, I do like to have the wig cap to cover the ears to make sure it's really secure on there and won't slip. Then I also like to wear these silicone finger protectors to make sure that I won't burn myself in the process. That's because for the wig making, I am using my hot glue gun. I take old doll packaging to protect the surface from the hot glue, and then I can start making the wig. When you're searching for these synthetic hair wefts on AliExpress, you're gonna find several lengths of hair. The lighter shade I'm holding is 15 centimeters, and the darker shade is 25, but there are also 30 or 35 centimeter hair wefts that are even longer. A great use for these different lengths is to create an ombre effect that I'll be doing today, with that shorter color being the base color. I do also have a very similar color in a longer length that I will be adding in as highlights to make the blend a bit more subtle and seamless. Each weft originally comes all rolled up, so to prepare the hair for the wig making, I unroll each color that I want to use, and I search for that end where the hair is much thinner and you have these stray ends, and I simply cut that off. What's really nice about these wefts is that you can actually cut them without losing too much hair or getting a crazy amount of shedding. And then it's time to actually start gluing the wefts on the wig cap. For my first row, I'm gonna go all the way around the hairline. I simply take the hair and I add a bit of glue to the top of the weft. On this very first piece, I only glue in a very small section, so I have full control over where I place it. I add it to the wig cap on that elastic band at the very front. I push it down with my thumb, which is why I'm wearing that silicone protector. And then once I have the beginning secured, I continue gluing it all the way around, going in bigger sections at a time. In this first row, I try to stay as close to the edge of the wig cap as possible for the most neat end result. It's always good to keep in mind that the color you select for the hairline and part line are the colors that are going to show up the best. Even when you mix it with a lot of different colors, like I'll be doing for this wig. Once the hairline is fully attached, I look for the seams in the wig cap, because those are a great indicator of where you're working. I now go from one seam all the way back to the other seam around the head, following the U shape that I did for the hairline. I follow the exact same steps, starting by gluing a small piece of the weft to the wig cap to make sure that it's secure. And then I can work around the head in bigger sections. As I reach the seam on the other side, I cut the weft to the perfect length and then glue on that end to the wig cap as well. And I just love how those first two rows already give the wig such a distinct look. And now I just keep repeating those same steps, alternating the colors of wefts as I want. You can also choose to do more of the same colors, but with this one I really wanted to go crazy and use a lot of different colors to show you how blended the end result will still be, even if you use a lot of different shades in one wig. As you can see, while I'm filling up the back of the wig, I keep working from that one seam to the other seam, still following that same curve, until only this oval shape at the top is still empty. For my liking, this goes a little too far back, so I am gonna fill it up with just straight across wefts to fill up the emptiness in an easy way that doesn't narrow down that empty oval. Once I took care of that, I tie all the attached hair out of the way so I can start working on the top without getting the rest of the hair messy. I did have a slightly crooked oval, so to perfect that shape, I'm using a very small piece of weft so that I can work in nice circular motions. That's because for the top of the wig, I'm gonna use a different direction of the hair. Still using the same technique, I add a small piece of the weft very close to the hairline and curve around that empty oval as close to the previously attached hair as possible. This ensures that the top of the hair falls really naturally and isn't all directed towards the face. For this top part, you really only want to use the colors that you want to show up in the end result, because this is what's going to show the most. So for my wig, I'm using the lighter pastel shades of the pink and the purple, and I make sure that I finish it off with the lighter green, because for most wigs I make, I like to match the part line to the hairline. I am also adding in one row of that longer light green weft, because I want the green, pinks and purples to be super blended. Then I add another weft of the super light pink, followed by the short green weft to keep that ombre effect going. As you can see, with this final weft, I'm really making sure that these touch each other, so that the closure of this wig looks as neat as I possibly can make it. Still, you can clearly see the hair wefts, so this is not the end of my wig. I am measuring the width of this part line and cutting one weft in these measurements. I check to see if it's okay and if it's gonna cover most of the visible wefts. Then I simply tie the hair at the end and I decide which side I want the part on. It might look confusing at first, but to hide all these tracks, you either want to glue the hair on the left track going to the left or on the right track going on the right. because in the end, I want to flip over this hair to completely hide all the wefts. For this wig, I decided I wanted a part on the left side, so I am gluing the hair going to the left as well, so I can flip it over later to create the neat part I want. And that basically is the hard part of the wig making done. Now I simply take the wig off the doll's head, and as you can see, one of the sandwich bags is completely glued to the inside, so I carefully tear away the plastic from the inside. And that honestly is also why I'm using 2 sandwich bags, just to keep the doll safe. I now part the front of the hair to match that part line and pin that all in place using bobby pins. That gives you a nice rough idea of what the wig is gonna look like on the actual doll, but as you can see, the hair is still quite bulky and the wig cap doesn't fit the head perfectly. To fix that, I always like to boil wash and style my wigs. I'm not giving you a full explanation on the boil washing and hairstyling steps in this video, but if you want a tutorial on those steps as well, please let me know in the comments down below, because there's a lot of boil washing, cutting, and styling involved. I really hope you liked this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and comment down below what you want to see next. Since I know I've been so absent from YouTube, if you want to stay in touch with me, please follow me on Instagram as well, @thedollboy. And I hope to see you guys in my next video. See you next time!